everybody, Scott again with Tourist Trap. I have my sometimes guest who shows up sometimes, Gigi,
hello,
who used to work with me. We're out here in Winter Park. We're going to go check out the Winter Park Historical Museum, Gigi, and it is a free museum to go check out. And right now they have what's it called? The War Years, Winter Park the War Years on display, and they change this up once a year to a different display of artifacts to go check out. One time they had a bunch of trains. We missed that one.
Yes.
I like trains. That would be pretty cool. And ironically, they're right next to the Sunrail.
Yes, right across the street.
I'm not letting you talk too much, am I?
That's okay.
I don't let her talk too much. I just keep on talking. So let's go inside and look around and see what they have to offer. Well, me and Gigi was getting ready to go in the museum, Gigi, but we found this wagon.
Yes, this wagon.
This is a wagon. Wonder what this was back in Prohibition days when they carted that liquor into town, right?
Yes.
They probably carted a lot of liquor in town with this big old wagon.
Oh, wow.
And I was thinking about getting up on it, but I might fall through. Those look like some old boards on this. This reminds me of back on my uncle's farm.
Yes.
I used to ride in the back of the wagon of the corn picker, and the corn would come flying down off the chute at me. It was so much fun. As you first come in the museum, there's this big aircraft coming at you from probably World War I or World War II, flying overhead. It's a pretty cool looking plane. They have some very old newspapers here on display. Back when the Orlando Sentinel was called the Orlando Morning Sentinel. This one's dated August 15th, 1945. It says, "Peace, Japs quit." And then you got another one over here on 1945 that say, "Germans surrender." Some pretty old newspapers here from way back during the war. Can you tell me a little bit about the exhibit here and how often that changes?
Okay, well, first of all, we're doing World War II right now, and it's from local history on out to the general World War II history. It's hands-on. If it's not under glass, you can sit on it, read it, touch it. There's a kids section. They can color. They can play with the toys that are World War II era toys. The exhibit changes approximately every couple of years. I believe, don't quote me on this, because I think they're going to do the hotels, the historic hotels of the area.
We're in an old replica kitchen.
Yes.
And Gigi loves food and kitchens.
Yes.
And we got some very old spice containers here.
Good for cancer.
And then you got the clothes, and look at the old matchboxes there. That's probably where they lit the stove to cook with.
Yes.
And there's that's an old kitchen timer right there.
Scott, take a good look at the fridge. Tiny little frozen section.
That's when they used to have to chip the ice away and to defrost these things, because they didn't have the modern conveniences we got today. And of course the milk came in these glass bottles, and you had a milkman that delivered it to your door. And there's the old Coke bottles that I remember drinking Cokes out of the Coke bottles back when I was a kid.
Also, Scott, the recipe books. Very old and ancient. Take a look. I thought this was really neat.
It's back when they had food rationing. They had food shortages, and they was trying to make it go as far as they could with very little money. And they also collected these trading stamps way back in the day. And also back in the day, the product Spam goes to war. They was using this to feed the troops. And today, about the only thing is Spam is that email you get. You get that Spam email. It's nothing like the Spam in that can, though.
You sure do.
Of course,
I actually make Spam sandwiches.
you still make them Spam sandwiches?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, awesome. This is a very small museum, but it's got a lot of items here that you can look at for a little while. They do have a little display here called the History of Winter Park, which kind of has a little timeline from back in the 1850s all the way down through the years 1880s, getting into the 1900s, and you go on around to the other side, and it keeps going to 1910s, the 50s, the 60s, the 90s, 2000s, all the way up to present. So you can read about each of the histories of each of the decades, dating all the way back to the 1800s. Looks like they also have a old leather flying helmet and goggles here on display, which is pretty cool. They also have a living room set up here of what it might look like back in the 1940s with the couches and the decor and some of the old newspapers on the table here and the old Life magazines. And they got some current Life magazines talking about Pearl Harbor. But they have this old stand-up radio from way, way back. Got a little fan there, and they kind of got it down to detail here. And they did tell me that they found this wallpaper, and it was actually 75-year-old wallpaper here that they put on the wall. They also have on display here a potato masher German hand grenade, along with a German helmet and another helmet here in a display case from back in the war era, which is authentic stuff here. And they've even got the old, it says USMC Kabar knuckle knife here. And this is on loan from Heritage Antiques and Militaries. They even have a picture of the troops walking down through Winter Park past the old Colony Theater that was in downtown Winter Park. And they have a replica here. I think this must be a replica of the old signage that was hanging out marquee in front of the theater. They have a little bit of an old retro movie playing here on the wall to represent of that old time theater and back in those days.
Places whose names we'd never heard before that Pearl Harbor day. And so now the war is over. The victory is won. The American people have a new litany of names which have been consecrated by American blood. It's over in Europe. It's over, friends, save for the white crosses in the memory of those place names you'd never heard of before this war started. The job has been done in the Western world and on the land and seas of the Orient. And let's not forget.
This here is the outside of the Winter Park Historical Museum. They do have a big display signage here for their current exhibit, which is the Winter Park, the War Years, 1941 to 1945. And as you can see, it's only running from May 12th of 2016 till spring of 2018. And then there will be a brand new exhibit here at this free museum. The Winter Park Historical Museum is located at 200 West New England Avenue here in historic Winter Park, and it is right across the street from the Sunrail station.
That was fun, Scott.
We learned a lot in there. There was so much to look at. It was a very small room when we walked in, and we thought, I don't know, but bigger is not always better.
No, it was very detailed.
It was very detailed,
Yes.
and there's 75-year-old wallpaper on the wall.
Couldn't believe it. Good condition.
Unbelievable. And the posters in there was really cool. The loose lips sink
I
ships.
love
That was really cool. She's gonna
I need
try
to replicate it.
She's gonna try to get that one. Well, we hope you enjoyed this little trip to the Winter Park Historical Museum, and it is free to come check out when you're coming down here on Park Avenue to check out all the cool shops and places to eat. If you're coming from out of town, come down here and check out downtown Winter Park at Park Avenue. Go check out something free to do. If you have a extra day left and don't know what to do, this is the place to do it right here.
Of course, I love it.
We love coming down here to Winter Park and checking it out.
Nice breeze.
And remember to go out there and make it a great day because
You deserve it.